Another Founder Wisdom Pod, guys. Should I call this a biohacker edition, consciousness edition? We're here with Stefany Nieto. She is co-founder and CEO at Gwella. I interviewed the next co-founder previously. I'm quite bullish on this startup right there, microdosing and all these beautiful shrooms inside a gummy. You guys know that I found my first business was a nootropic that I founded up there in Canada 7 years ago. Steph's taken it to a further level. It seems she's this high achiever, 29 years old. She's also founded Green Igloo, and I think you founded this magazine as well, Steph, right? Can you introduce yourself briefly? Tell us a bit more about your background and the company.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. My background is entrepreneurship all the time. Gwella is my like fourth startup. Green Igloo, previous to that, building greenhouses in the Arctic. Previous to that, I worked with microloans in Kenya, and I also did a water purification project in India. So I would say I've been in the wellness space overall for just over a decade. And it's been an amazing time. Gwella itself is a psychedelic company. It's the parent company to Mojo Microdose, which is our main product. So Gwella talks more about psychedelics, trip support tools, and other, mushroom-based products, while Mojo itself is our main product, has its own website, and it is a gummy, well, a very tasty gummy that mirrors the benefits of a psilocybin microdose, but without the psilocybin. So, energy, focus, mental clarity, and mood enhancement completely legally.
Why are you so entrepreneurial? Were your parents entrepreneurs?
That is a great question. They were not. In fact, they were
Surprised.
both engineers. So, I mean, I guess to an extent, they like, you know, tinkering with things and problem solving. But then they ended up with two kids who are more in the startup slash entrepreneurship world. My brother's more in like the, money side of things, VC, hedge funds, and I'm on the startup side.
Interesting. Okay, well, not sure where to start here. First, do you consider yourself successful at 29 with everything you've accomplished so far?
I consider myself happy. And I think that's where I really strive to be. Success can be measured in so many different ways. And for me, I realized that I just wanted to be content when I woke up in the morning, and I am that right now. When the pandemic hit, I realized that I wasn't feeling that way with my previous company. Like it was doing great, but this company that I started when I was 18 years old wasn't necessarily who I was anymore. And so I shifted gears and, helped co-found Gwella, and then transitioned over the course of I don't know, like 8 months or something, running both companies for a bit. And I'm much happier where I am now.
And what's the root cause of this happiness? Because you spend probably 70% of your days, if not more, building your business. Is that it? Is it the fact that you're doing good? Is it that you're biohacking? Tell me a bit more about it.
I think a big part of it is that I get to talk about something I'm passionate about all day, every day. I'm a big fan of drugs. um, all across the board. And I get to just relate to people with their cool experiences or any type of experience that surrounds these types of substances. So it's a really fun place to be, at least for me personally. With that said, I'm also the head of operations. So my mind is constantly code switching from, finance to retail to back end IT to design to copywriting. And I get to no day is the same. Like I get to just kind of jump back and forth on a variety of things, which keeps my mind very occupied, which I really appreciate. And more than that, I love our product. Like I love that people love our product. I love talking and engaging with our community about how they use Mojo. And so being able to be a founder of a product that you really stand behind, I mean, I'm sure it adds a smile to many founders' faces.
Right. And why did you choose this niche, psychedelics, microdosing? What did you see there?
Well, I used to be an underground advocate for psychedelics. My first trip was when I was in my early 20s on one of my birthdays, and I had such an amazing, profound experience that I wanted to do more of it. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to introduce other people to it. And so that's, you know, where it comes from in terms of like how it started. As I mentioned, like I wasn't really feeling my previous company anymore. And speaking to friends, they kind of alerted me to the fact that I was really passionate about drugs. Like I loved doing them, learning about them, helping other people understand them and experience them. And it was something that I could lose myself for hours on something like YouTube, right? Like the content was just really interesting to me. And so I kind of began this journey of how does one begin a career in drugs and in psychedelics specifically without becoming an underground dealer or having to do something underground. And that's kind of how it started. I ended up talking to people in the cannabis space, you know, telling them what I was interested in. They connected me to other people who were starting up in the space, and that's how I met my co-founders. So that's how it came to be. But Mojo itself actually started as a study aid way back when one of my co-founders was in university. And so when we all got together and were brainstorming, how do we bring the benefits of psychedelics to everybody without actually having to do it illegally, we looked at this base formula and we ended up working on it for about a year, just tweaking it to make it not just a focus aid, but add in the energy, the mental clarity, and the mood enhancement to really make it a true microdose mimicking product.
Right. And microdosing was probably one of the top 5 biohacks in the last couple of years. Well, it was advertised this way. But yeah, I can think of it as the top 5 because there was sun exposure, there was high intensity exercise, good old caffeine friends. But yeah, like in the last year, I have been microdosing myself. I've been producing my own medicine, and it's quite surprising when you actually do it. And I still have drops of mushroom. I'm in Mexico now, and the wellness and the spiritual scene here is burgeoning. And I consider Oaxaca, where I am today, to be the one of the capital of that in the Americas. And I felt way more creative, more patient. Felt it was needed because caffeine makes you rigid. You know, it makes you really smart, and it skyrockets your IQ. I cannot think of any other substance that do it. Obviously, there are substances that exist in this world that can even power my brain more, but it gave me the EQ side of things, which is very much needed to deal with my humans and my team, which, yeah, it's, and deal with sometimes is the word, right? Manage their emotions and, you know, be the leader that I can be. And obviously the anxiety that came with the coffee, the jitters and so forth, it really helped with that. And just, yeah, to chill, you know. So I really love that aspect of it. Tell me a bit more about Gwella, Mojo, the product that you're producing. Obviously, there's no psilocybin in there. One day there will be, because we're on a massive path to legalization everywhere in the world, which is just fantastic. But tell us about the current product and the current beta or phase 1 of it.
Yeah, so Mojo itself is functional mushrooms and other nootropics that make up that harmonious, you know, recipe that delivers on the jitter-free, crash-free energy, the, you know, super laser focus, get into your flow for about 5 to 8 hours, the mood enhancement that hits within about 20 to 30 minutes. If you take it on an empty stomach, if you just ate beforehand, it might take like an hour. As well as the overall mental clarity. And so just kind of what you said, Mojo, at least for me, like I take it typically on a daily basis, mostly to really focus at work. Again, I'm code switching all the time. So being able to really get into something and then immediately dive in and then dive back out into something else is really important to me. But more importantly, like beyond work, I find that Mojo and, you know, microdosing in general really helps also with like anxiety, both normal anxiety and social anxiety. When the world started opening back up, not post-COVID, because I know COVID's still very much, happening. But when things started opening back up, and all of a sudden, I was invited to events and I had to be around human beings again after like 2 years. It was hard. Like it was tough for me to just, like, I'm extroverted naturally, but the pandemic kind of pushed me into a shell of myself. And it was Mojo that really helped me, like, be a little bit more extroverted again. At first, I was taking it every single time I would go out into a social situation. And now it's like when there's going to be a big group of human beings at an event, or if I have to, do a public speaking event type of thing, that's when I utilize it the most. But I mean, we have an entire community of people that use it for such a wide a range of use cases, from, what I've mentioned, to things like studying, to things like creating music or other types of artistry, to just parenting during the day when you don't want to have to take like 6 cups of coffee to keep up with toddlers. Like, there are so many different ways that it's been used.
Right. And the ingredients like chaga, and what lion manes, most probably cordyceps. What's in there? Like, what are the ingredients?
Yeah. Sorry, did we cut off? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So we have a few different key ingredients, including things like lion's mane, ginger, cordyceps sinensis, and cordyceps militaris, L-theanine, mucuna pruens. I think those are our main hero ingredients. And if you go to our website, we actually split it up as to like which one's energy, which one's focus, which one's mental clarity, and which one is our overall mood enhancement. That's really what we strive for. And then we have, of course, our non-active ingredients, which we're actually working on rolling out an all-natural version that we'll be launching in the fall, which we're really excited about.
Nice. What's next for the business? Do you want to stay in the gummies and mushroom niche, or like where do you guys want to go? Because the website's beautiful. I see a bunch of tools as well, and handbooks for psychedelics and so forth. What is the strategy this year, and how do you want to achieve your goals in the next 6 months?
For sure. So I think also we have two websites. We have the gwellamushrooms.com and then mojo.shop. So I mean, they're both beautiful, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware. And for us, Gwella really focuses on supporting psychedelic experiences, whatever that might mean. So, for example, we have retreats on there that we have heard about or have experienced that we promote. We have different like content on how to take these substances in a safe manner to help you on those trips. We also have like a what is it called, like a QA type of, put in your questions, and somebody from the team will go in and respond, especially for those that are experiencing these type of substances for the first time. While Mojo, again, is our main CPG product, direct to consumer, as well as in retail. And when it comes, the goals for those two, not companies, but like two brands, I would say, Gwella is just building our cred in the psychedelic space, because as you mentioned, one day, hopefully psychedelics will be legalized and we'll be able to create Mojo with psilocybin and with other types of, important substances for self-discovery and for day-to-day wellness, right? But then for Mojo, honestly, our big goal is taking over the world. Like, I am trying so hard to grow our overall business, both in retail and direct to consumer and Amazon, constantly looking to just make people aware that we exist, to give us a try. Actually, right now we have anybody can go onto the website and get a 5-day trial pack, shipping included. Like, we'll ship it to you for free, just for people to try it, give us a shot, and see if it helps them on a day-to-day basis. So growth is the big goal that we have over the next 6 months.
Pretty sure you'll achieve your goals. Can we talk about conscious capitalism, which is one of my favorite topic? How are you building a business that is doing good while you're making some green?
For sure. So some of the ways that we really consider, building the business in that manner, starts from within, in terms of, one, the suppliers that we work with. We try to make sure that they are fair trade, fair employment type of suppliers that we're working with. more than that, diverse suppliers that we're working with when we can, you know, balance the needs of the business with the values of the business. When it comes to our packaging, we ensure that it's as green as it can be while still, you know, ensuring we're not going bankrupt. So it's post-consumer, recyclable, and recycled. So again, trying to use what's already been used and then reuse it to give to our consumers. And then when it looks at in terms of like how we run the business itself, it's trying not to take more from our resources than we should, right? Allowing for our resource to be regenerative. And that includes personnel, that includes our team. We're very big proponents of work-life balance. I have personally burned out hard with my previous company, and that's something I don't want to face again. And so making sure that we are, you know, providing balance beyond things that are mandatory, right? Like right now we're doing summer Fridays because who doesn't love a half day Friday throughout the summer? Trying to make sure that all of our team has the ability to take time off and, you know, turn your laptop off at 6 p.m. Like we're not heart surgeons. What we're doing isn't going to have a detrimental, huge impact on the world. And so trying to take care of ourselves and our team first is a big part of that. But I mean, in general, when we're looking at resource usage, whatever that may be, it's how do we take the amount that we require and ensure that it's regenerative beyond that.
Love it. Where can people find out more about you, Steph, and about Gwella?
Yeah, I'm Steph.psych, Steph with an F, dot psych, like psychedelics, on basically any platform imaginable. I try to keep it, you know, concise with that. And then Stefany Nieto is my name as a whole.